French Montana, you could say, is lucky to be alive today, if not for a bizarre call for the police. The police ended up at French Montana's home in Calabasas
yesterday,
and that may have saved his life. Even though the police, what they came out there for, and turned out to be a false alarm. So, on Thursday afternoon, there's a call from a neighbor, one of French's neighbors. They call police and say, "We think someone's breaking into his house." Police go out to his house. Turns out, false alarm. There's no break-in, but they see French, and they feel like there's something just not right about him, that he's abnormal, is what we've heard from sources. And they decide he's got to get help, and they call for an ambulance.
That's a big, by the way, that's a big deal when something like that happens.
Right. When
the cops see this, to call for an ambulance with a big celebrity,
it makes you think
something bad is happening.
It's got to be really bad for them to do that.
Yeah.
So he gets taken to the hospital, and thank God that he did go.
Right, he's actually still in the hospital and doctors continue to run tests, but what we know, he had a very elevated heart rate, severe nausea, and really intense stomach pain. I'm told that that pain remains today, and tests are coming back and they appear to be okay. He also had a CT scan done, everything seemed normal, but they're still trying to get to the bottom of where this pain's coming from.
So when the cops came, was he alone in the house?
It sounds like they were never alone. Yeah, he always seems to have his team there with him, or security, or somebody.
So that's why I find this so interesting, guys. Because
why didn't
the other guys say it? And how are the cops, in a sense, overriding the people who are in the house? I mean, that's kind of interesting, right?
I'm speculating. The people around him probably realize there's something wrong, but nobody wants to. I don't want to say that he's surrounded by yes men. But nobody wants to say, hey, French,
you know what I'm saying. It's interesting that the cops came.
French, you got to get to the hospital. But then the cops step in and they're like, look, we've been here, we witnessed, we can see this. You got to get help.
Brad, do we know where he was when the cops interacted with him? Was he in bed?
Don't know exactly where he was, no. We were told he may have been in the living room, but that's not confirmed.
So it just is interesting to me that all these people are around, and the cops are the ones who look at him and are so alarmed that they call.
And you think about, so what if the neighbor didn't think that there was someone breaking into his house and hadn't called the police? Would somebody eventually have said, hey, French, you got to get some help? I mean, if you're walking around with stomach pain and your heart rate is through the roof, that's when you got to get to the hospital. So,
boy, he is lucky.
Very.
Hi, it's Sheena from Atlanta. I'm so sorry to hear about what's happened to French. This is an interesting story. I don't know, like, why his friends didn't call. Maybe he told them not to, but I don't believe in coincidence. It sounds like he had some angels on his side, and I really hope he gets better.
Yeah, I mean, look, when we initially spoke to his team, they thought he was going to get out of the hospital on Thursday night. The fact that he's still there shows whatever is happening is serious. Now,
it's pretty serious.
There were some people close to him who had initially said to us that they thought maybe he'd had some contaminated food. He's been traveling a lot to the Middle East and Europe.
I get contaminated food with stomach pains. I don't get how it elevates your heart rate.
Exactly. So I would think they're not even thinking that anymore because he's still in the hospital.